Gesels vanaand oor sensuur en kulturele sensitiwiteit. Niel van Deventer, hy's 'n televisie- en rolprentvervaardiger, is hierso, en Nthabiseng Mosieane, hy's 'n fliekresensent op onder meer 5FM. You are lifting our coolness. En sy's ook 'n vervaardiger. Welcome, and of course we will conduct this, we will speak English. Niel, you also had to do with the FBB in no uncertain terms with this ek Anna. Just refresh our memories.
So in our case, it was a bit the other way around than with the wound. So they got a rating from the FBB that was 16 initially, and someone appealed it. Where we got a rating that was 18 for language violence and sexual violence, and some of the representatives actually said it was borderline pornography in our case of the ek Anna, and we appealed it, and we got it overturned to 16. So yeah, it was an interesting process. I just felt outraged, like I'm sure these producers do as well, because the film we tried to make wasn't anything close to pornography, obviously. But we were lucky in the sense that I know Kobus has said something else now that they can actually review the appeal again, but as far as I know, you can only appeal once. And then it needs to go to the Minister of Communications. So we were lucky that we could appeal, so yeah.
Why was it important, you had this, it was very important for you to get this message across, even in an educational sphere. So to have an 18 rating would mean that a lot of school children might not see it, and they were your audience.
Yes, so we made a film about child abuse, and we felt that the children must be able to see it, because there's no sense in trying to heal a victim who could have been helped earlier, and now they were prohibited of seeing a film that could actually send them on their path to healing, because we partnered with Childline, with the Teddy Bear Clinic. We actually offered help to whatever extent there is, and for us it was very important that even the younger, almost a child that could see the film, the quicker maybe they can speak to someone, get help. So for us it was really important to have everyone almost see the film, yeah.
Nthabiseng, why do you think it's important for people to see the wound? Ironically, you gave it a rating of 2.5 out of 5, so I don't know whether you think it's important for people to see it, but perhaps you do.
When I had seen the film, I was actually thinking to myself that if I could, I probably would have given it probably less of a rating. The reason for that is I remember watching it, it was last year, and for me, what's important is about resonating with the film and just understanding and bringing it together. And what I couldn't understand with it was just like how jarring it is between what it was centered upon and the world it was set in. And it just made me want to look at and to research and look behind who the filmmaker was, and I believe it was John Trenkov, and he's a white South African, and we come from completely different worlds. And I just wanted to understand that his passion for telling this story, does it also run with him understanding the black struggle and black culture? Does he care about inequality? Does he care about fees must fall? Like all of those things. What was his importance and his resonance with the film to tell such a story that I felt was misrepresented and misappropriated as well? So that for me was why I had decided to give it a 2.5 rating out of 5, because it didn't seem like it was a cohesive storyline.
So do you think the fact that homosexuality is set in a Xhosa initiation school is just too absurd?
No, absolutely not. I think that the story in itself is so well told. I mean, I can say that I can appreciate the film for the fact that it's a well-told story, it's a love triangle, but it could have easily been placed in any other setting. So, and the filmmaker keeps saying that it's not about, the initiation and the process and all of that. So it just makes me question then what was the intention and purpose of putting the story together? Because I've had conversations with people who've been in the mountain who are homosexual, and they say that, it's jarring, it doesn't make sense, we're confused by it, we don't understand exactly what's going on. So it's a matter where two voices are absolutely important, the voices of people who are homosexual and the voices of the people whose the story is written upon, the culture. It's just, for me, it's not cohesive, it's not matching. So that is where I think the cry of the nation is on both sides.
But this X18 rating seems like a ban now. Do you think it warrants that?
I think that in South Africa and in our landscape and where we are, I don't think any South African film can afford to be given an X-rated for financial reasons, and also just to have the freedom of voice. But within freedom of voice, people need to understand that there are consequences within that, but no one should ever be muted or closed down. It's just a matter of taking the conversation further and see where it can go.
Niel, Nthabiseng het nou finansies genoem. Dis interessant. Jy het 'n teorie dat hierdie X-rating of 'n verbanne fliek nie eintlik aan ons sakke mee gaan raak nie, want ons het natuurlik die internet.
Well, the trick still is how to make money on the internet. I know in their case, they've had a long run before this. They started at Sundance in 2017, last year. Then they went to Berlin. Then they came to Durban. Then there was South Africa's submission to the Oscars. They were shortlisted, you know, and we're forgetting that as well. So,
they were shortlisted for foreign film.
Yeah, for foreign film, yeah. So,
not docu, what am I talking about?
No, yeah, best foreign language film. So what, in their case, they are currently streaming on Netflix in America with a 16 rating. And that's where the internet is changing things. So Netflix last year told the FPB in no uncertain terms that we won't involve you in rating our programs because they just don't have the capacity to do so, because Netflix said to them, we've got 650 programs launching this year. How long is it going to take you to rate them? And yes, so the internet is definitely changing everything in terms of that.
Yeah.
To the extent where I actually said to, commented on Kate Panzigro, one of the producers' status when she shared the news. I said, well, maybe you're now in the position to just drop a link, you know, and let people sort of bootleg and watch it.
You mean drop a link on Vimeo?
On Vimeo or YouTube or whatever, you know.
We just need to take a quick break. Ons gaan maak 'n draai in die winkels. Bly ingeskakel.